From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also presented by Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service, keeping Long Island warm for over 18 years, serving their customers in Nassau and Suffolk with pride, honesty, and integrity. For more information, visit www.liboilers.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family at the Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. By Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. They're also available for charity auctions. Give Warren a call at 516-826-4000. Mention Sports Bash, get a free autograph photo, and stay tuned later in the show. Find out about the Living Legends item of the week. And by the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. Well, hi again, everyone, and a happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Peter Schwartz, 516-465-3990. The number to call here on Sports Bash. Make sure you are subscribing to Govs Comedy Club podcast channel on YouTube and Facebook, and also follow Sports Bash Media on all the usual suspects, X, and anybody still calling it Twitter? People still calling it Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Actually, yeah. X, Twitter. Yeah, I remember when it was Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff you can follow Sports Bash Media. Coming up later in the show, I'll be joined by NHL host Johnny Lazarus to talk about the Four Nations Face-Off. He also provides content for Bleacher Report Open Ice. What a game that was on Saturday night. The United States beating Canada 3-1, and they're going to have a rematch on Thursday in Boston for the championship. So we'll talk to Johnny about that. We'll also have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, and as I mentioned, the Living Legends item of the week. This segment is presented by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get that free dessert with your meal. Big show coming up. I mentioned Johnny Lazarus later on in the show, but we're going to start talking some basketball, and this is a great story. So in 2022, a young man by the name of Harold Teller, who loves to play basketball, came up with this idea for a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and it's focused on spreading awareness about mental health issues and suicide prevention. From Comac, now he's 15 years old and getting ready for the third edition of his basketball tournament, is Harold Teller. Harold, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to Mom for driving you here today, right?
Yep.
All right, so a long way from Comac. So congratulations about this event. Tell everybody how you came up with the idea for this event. What was your thinking in doing it, and how many people helped you get it off the ground?
My parents, just everyone around me kind of just helped me. And my kind of like inspiration for it was like I knew some people that struggle with mental health and suicide prevention like issues, and I kind of just wanted to like help everyone out. So
people close to you
Yeah.
were going through this, and so you basically wanted to try and do something to help people get through it. And then the basketball tournament. Why a basketball tournament?
It's just what I love to do, so
Yeah.
I just felt it was an easy way to connect with people.
What is it? So do you play on the school basketball team?
No,
You don't.
I play outside of school.
But you just love basketball,
Yeah.
and you just decide this would be a fun thing to do and also help people at the same time.
Yeah.
What was the initial response when you started it? What did your parents say about the idea, and what was the overall reaction from your
They were
friends and family?
kind of like happy, but also like didn't know like what to do. So we kind of just like researched like how to get it started, and then we kind of just went with it.
So this year's event is going to be on March 22nd at the Hoop Dreams Shop Lab. Did I get that right?
Yep.
In Huntington Station, 11 Ogden Court in Huntington Station. Has that been where it's been all 3 years?
Yeah. No, wait, actually, my
No.
fault.
That's
We used
okay.
to have it at Develop Basketball.
So is this the first year you're having it here?
Yep.
So when you started it, how did you go about getting people to participate? Did you just go on social media? How did that all work out?
So we made an Instagram and TikTok account, and we kind of just promoted flyers and stuff. And then I talked to like my friends in school and my travel teams, and just got them to like talk to other people that they play with, and it kind of just spread.
So what is the format? How did it start where it is now? So now I imagine you've expanded it, that more age groups are playing in it. So what does the tournament look like when people would come to see it?
So this year we're going to have 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, and then JV and varsity. But when we first started, it was just JV and varsity.
Do you like the 3-on-3 format?
Yeah.
Do you think the NBA All-Star Game should go to 3-on-3?
They should.
It's got to be better than what they had on the other night. That was pure garbage, right? The other night.
We need more people to try.
Well, yeah, I'd say I never had a problem with the old NBA All-Star Game because it is what it is, right? Back and forth, up and down. Nobody plays any defense, and it's like now they're trying to come up with another way to do it, and there really is no other way to do it. Like the other night was just like you played 40 points. It was silly, but your event is not silly. So it starts with like a round robin, and then people get into the later rounds. How does that work?
Yep. So basically, it's just gonna start. You're gonna have 3 or 4 regular season games, and then we're gonna make standings based on record, and then tiebreaker will be point differential, and then we're gonna do the playoffs.
Has your team in the first 2 years, the team that you've played on, have you won?
Yeah, last year we won.
So was the fix in, or did you...
No.
You just assembled the best team. You recruited the best players.
Much, yeah.
So you're out to defend your championship this year.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Did you bring everybody back from last year?
No, I'm not.
No. So
they're going to get a team on their own.
So the players that helped you win the whole thing last year, they've abandoned you, or you just...
No, I kind of abandoned them.
Oh, you abandoned them. Okay,
yeah.
So you just wanted to prove that you can win it again with a different group of players.
Potentially.
There you go. So you have raised, in the first 2 years, over $13,000. Can we get a round of applause for Harold?
Absolutely.
$13,000.
Yeah.
I should have told you this in advance.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. There you go. $13,000 that you have raised, and the issue is spreading awareness about mental health issues and suicide prevention. So have there been outside groups that handle that kind of thing? Have they now latched on to what you guys are doing?
Yeah, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We donate to them, and they come down to our events and just kind of help us spread the word.
And that's where entry fees are going to go to also.
Yep.
So the entry fees go to the foundation. What the teams that participate, if they win, do they get a trophy? Is there a different...
So they're all 4 winning teams, 2 teams will be selected through a raffle to go to a Knicks game.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Now that was a little problem before the show. Harold and I got off to a bad start because he loves basketball. Says everyone sees I'm wearing my Knicks sweatshirt today. So I asked him, "Wow, so you a Knicks or a Nets fan?" Neither. And what team do you root for?
Warriors.
So like this again, not to bust your chops too much, but you live here on Long Island.
Yeah.
We've got 2 professional teams in the NBA that play. Like you can get on the train and go to see either one of them.
Yeah.
But you chose to be a Warriors fan. So do you fully admit that you're a fair weather basketball fan? That you jumped on them because they were winning?
Yeah.
You do? Okay,
yeah,
so at least he's honest. Like I like that. Your parents raised you right. At least you're honest, right?
Yep.
Is there any way to convert you? Like do you
no,
no. There's nothing that can happen.
No. We could go 0-82. I'll still root for
You'll
them.
still be a Warriors.
Yeah.
So now that you adopted them and you had all the success with watching them win championships, you're with them
forever.
by hook or by crook. Have you been out to San Francisco to see a game?
No, I want to.
Have you seen them play here in the area? Oh, you've gone here in the area to go see the Warriors.
Yep.
That's a tough ticket to get because Knicks tickets are not cheap and neither are Nets tickets too.
Yeah.
So it must have been a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Right? That's good. You think you ought to thank your parents for bringing you. That's a lot of money to go see a basketball game.
Yeah.
Right? So we're talking to Harold Teller, and he is the founder of Harold's Hoops for Hope. It is a nonprofit basketball 3-on-3 basketball tournament that's focused on spreading awareness about mental health issues and suicide prevention. Have you met anybody over the first 2 years that was going through a problem like that and came to you and said, "Thank you for doing this. We appreciate it"? Have you met anybody going through a difficult time?
I don't know if I've met anyone that was like going through a tough time and like told me that they were, but I've met like a ton of people that just said like, "Thank you for what I'm doing."
Yeah. And do you find that as the 3 years went on, more and more people have latched onto it.
Yeah.
And the event has definitely grown over 3 years.
Yep.
So are you guys on pace to outdo
Yeah.
what you've done the first 2
By
years?
far.
So how many people are signed up for this now?
We already have like 6 or 7 teams, and I have confirmation from a couple more. So we know that we're gonna have a bunch, especially because with basketball, like stuff happens to where it's like you're signing up late most of the times
Yeah.
because of like scheduling and stuff. You need to know like when you have games and stuff. So typically we get most of our people like a week or two before.
See, I find this fascinating. You were 12 years old when you started. Like, you're 15 now. It's like my younger son is 14. And you can see the difference between when you're 10 and 12 and you get to 14. I have an older son who's 19. So, as a 12-year-old, like, do you remember, like what drove you? I know the cause drove you, but
Yeah.
as a 12-year-old, to be able to put together a basketball tournament, like, that's like being like a CEO of a company when you're 12 years old. No comment to that? Like,
I don't even know what to say.
I guess my point is that at 12 years old, for you to be able to put together an event like this is remarkable. Like, do you think
Thank you.
back on it 3 years? Well, you're welcome. But you think back 3 years ago and you're like, did you amaze yourself that you were able to do this?
Yeah, kind of like I don't even know like how. Like
Yeah. There's a lot of paperwork, like any like mundane paperwork things that you have to do, or you let your parents take care of all that stuff.
I help them with it.
You help them
Yeah.
with it, okay. And have any famous people come to any of the events the first 2 years? Did you get like
Yeah.
media people that came? I saw the picture with News 12, right?
Yeah, and then we got like Fox News was there.
Fox News.
Yeah, and then NBA player Lester Quinones was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he a Long Island guy?
Yeah,
Or-
he's
like-
from Brentwood.
So did you get Danny? Have you gotten Danny Green to come back
No.
yet? So you should reach out to Danny Green. You know,
Yeah.
he's from Long Island too. And he's got a couple of rings, I think, with the Spurs, right? With the Spurs, he
Yeah.
won. Okay, and so what can people expect this year? Any special surprises at the tournament this year?
Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of food trucks coming down.
Oh, I like you got my attention in food trucks there. I like that. What kind?
We have a
I'll be there late because I work at WFAN
Yeah.
that morning. So if I get there in time, will there still be some food for
Yeah,
me?
they'll be there the
that's
whole
good.
time.
Okay, good.
we have a hot dog truck, a pizza truck,
That's good stuff, right, Tony?
Chitty's cheesesteak, and a donut place.
Listen, it's great to go to get a slice of pizza and wash it down with a donut. I like that. So tell people again how they can get more information about the tournament, how they can sign up and register.
They could go to our website, haroldsoupsforhope.org.
That's it. Now, you brought me a gift today. You brought me a gift bag. So we're gonna see what's in the gift bag and see what we got here. Well, we got some information about the tournament, which I will dive into later on. A pamphlet about raising awareness to prevent adolescent suicide. So that's very, very important. We're going to make sure we get this stuff posted as well on my socials and the Sports Bash Media socials. And this looks to be a T-shirt. Well, let's first see what's at the bottom. Oh, look. Some bracelets. This, to me, is the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life because these rubber bracelets have become so popular. My kids had them at their bar mitzvahs. And everybody has these rubber bracelets now. I hope this fits around my wrist. Let's take a look. Because are these extra large or just regular size?
No clue.
All right. Let's do that. I don't care if it cuts off my circulation. I'm wearing it. Harold's Hoops for Hope.org is the website, and you can get more information. And this looks like a T-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't pull one over on me. Oh, look at this. Outstanding. Tony, can we get a good shot of this?
Come this way. There you
this
go.
way?
Perfect.
There we go.
Right there.
So it blocks my face, too.
That's why I said perfect.
There's a perfect. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much. That's awesome. And so, are you happy with the team you've put together this year? Are you confident you'll be able to repeat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna hang another banner.
Yeah.
Are there banners being hung anywhere? Like, is there anywhere there where the winners
No,
from the
but
first
we
two?
might have to.
Okay. Mom, you wanna add anything? Daria, tell her his mom. No, she's just sitting there glowing, and happy that her son has accomplished so much. And again, March 22nd, 2025, Hoop Dreams Shot Lab, 11 Ogden Court, Huntington Station, New York. It is the Harold's Hoops for Hope third annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And again, raising awareness for suicide prevention, anti-bullying, and mental health. I did mention before we got off to a bad start with the basketball rooting interest. It then got worse when we brought up football, and he said he was a Broncos fan. So again, those two sports, you decided to go outside the metropolitan area.
Yeah.
But then things got back on track because you're a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
So knuckle for that. And then we found out you're an Islanders fan too. So now the question is, are the Yankees go one step further this year and win the whole thing?
I hope so.
Oh, I hope so too. I can't stand hearing my Met fan family dealing with it, right? So, and then the Islanders, we're going to get into the playoffs?
I hope so.
USA going to beat Canada Thursday night?
Obviously.
I think so. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good luck with the event. I will be there late that day.
Yep.
But I will be there for a little bit of it. You definitely don't want to see me shooting any hoops, but I'll be there to get a hot dog or a slice of pizza or something, and we'll take a picture or something at that point. All right?
Sounds good.
Awesome. He is Harold Taylor. Thanks to his mom, Daria, for bringing him into the show. When we come back, we're going to talk hockey with Johnny Lazarus about the Four Nations face-off, USA and Canada in the final on Thursday. We're going to talk to Johnny about it when we come back right after this.
Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,500 families, raising over $43 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $6,700 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 76 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service. This segment of Sports Bash is also presented by Ticketbash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. Welcome back to Sports Bash. I'm Peter Schwartz. Again, thanks to 15-year-old Harold Teller for joining us to talk about his Harold's Hoop Dreams 3-on-3 basketball tournament. I think I misspoke on that. It's Harold's Hoops for Hope basketball tournament. Again, it's March 22nd at Hoop Dream Shop Lab in Huntington Station, all for a great cause, so make sure you check that out. Something else I know a lot of people are going to be checking out on Thursday night, on television at least, for those who can't afford the high ticket prices, and that is the championship game of the Four Nations face-off as the United States takes on Canada in a rematch of Saturday night's round-robin game won by the United States. And on the line with us on Zoom to talk about it, he is a host for the NHL, and he also provides content for Bleacher Report Open Ice. He is Johnny Lazarus. Johnny, it's Peter. How are you?
I'm good, Peter. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And if my voice goes in and out, I apologize. It's been a lot of cheering the past week or so.
Yeah.
I've been able to attend the tournament as a fan, so it's been a while since I've been able to go to hockey games as a fan, and I've really been enjoying all these games. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I don't blame you for losing your voice, and no worries at all about it. As we get ready for this rematch on Thursday, let me go back to Saturday a little bit, and just if you can describe what it was like to be in that building on Saturday with all the pomp and circumstance leading up to it. Then obviously the fisticuffs that took place in the first 9 seconds with 3 fights to what was just an incredible hockey game right up until the end when the United States put it away with an empty net goal. What was that atmosphere like in Montreal on Saturday night?
It's honestly so hard to come up with any sort of analogy. The best way I've been putting it is like a game 7, but both teams win. Because the outcome didn't really matter. It is a round robin game at the end of the day. And, most people knew that these teams would face each other again in the championship game. So the anticipation going in was so much excitement, yet there were a lot of nerves just because it's USA versus Canada. We've waited 9 years for this. So, everyone was on the edge of their seat the entire game, but there wasn't really any sort of anxiety because it's not do or die. So it's a weird thing to describe because it really did feel like a game 7. The build up at 6 p.m., 2 hours before puck drop, outside the Bell Center was packed, going nuts. People chanting, "Let's go Canada." People chanting USA. Like it was the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. And obviously the first 9 seconds of the game was, something that we haven't really seen before, especially in international play. So I thought the whole night lived up to all the hype, and, hopefully Thursday night can do the same because it's going to be, one of the most insane hockey games I think most people have watched in the last decade plus.
There's no question. I wanted to ask specifically about the fighting, and you mentioned it's not something that we see a lot in international hockey, and even in college hockey too. You get thrown out of the game if you get into a fight, but it's become obviously an accepted part of the NHL game, and it was really interesting to see it happen at the international level. And here's the funny thing, because a lot of the game attracted a lot of casual viewers. I mean, the rating indicates that more than just hockey fans were watching it. Now, I'll give you my mother as an example. And, we grew up here on Long Island, and she would go to Islander games with us and always enjoyed it. Now she lives in Florida, and she caught on to the Florida Panthers last year going to win the Stanley Cup. So I was telling her about this tournament, and she tuned in, and she was watching the game. 9 seconds in the third fight, I said, I've got to call my mother and see what her reaction is to this. I call her up, and she was so angry on the other end of the phone saying, I'm not watching this. What is this? I thought I was watching a hockey game. I'm like, Mom, calm down. It's all over with now. Now they're going to get the hockey. And I think she wound up watching the rest of the game. But it was just, it was bizarre to see it on the international level because we're not accustomed to seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think I've been alive to see any sort of brawl between USA and Canada. Obviously, I think most hockey fans know the history of the 1996 World Cup of Hockey, and there's a great documentary on it, which I watched, but I wasn't alive to watch that happen. So for me, it was all brand new. And I think just, it's funny, actually. I just saw the quote from Brandon Hagel this morning where he talked about the opening fight, and he said, I didn't do it for the cameras. I did it for the pride of the flag. Like, while these guys understand that there is an entertainment factor to this tournament, it really is the pride of putting on a USA jersey and the pride of putting on a Canada jersey and trying to prove that, each respective country is the best in the world at hockey. It's always been Canada's game, and I think the United States has that underdog mentality, but also the mentality of showing that we're here now. We've arrived. USA Hockey is at an even level playing field, with you guys. And I think that's the motivation for Team USA. And then for Canada, they're trying to prove that they're still number one. So there's a lot that goes into it. I thought the fights were amazing. If there was a 4th and 5th fight, maybe it would have been a little too much because I think we all were excited to see the hockey. But anytime you see the Kachuk brothers and JT Miller going at it on the American side, you're not going to complain. Those 3 guys are warriors. And I think, one of the biggest things about this tournament has been, everyone knows of the Kachuk brothers, but seeing them together playing on the same team has been, it's like the Mighty Ducks, like watching Dean Portman and Fulton Reed.
Well, I was just going to say before you brought that up, I think I was one of many watching the game on Saturday night and finding that is it a GIF or a GIF with the little video?
GIF.
It's a GIF, right? I always mess that up, Johnny. I get killed by my family because you don't know the language. It's a GIF. I mean, I was one of many who found the Mighty Ducks gif of the two of them in the penalty box during the Mighty Ducks movie. So I'm sure I wasn't the only one who did that. But that was a cool element of this too, is that you had two brothers playing on the same line and they get into fights seconds apart.
Yeah, the best part to me too, when you go back and rewatch it, Matthew, when he's fighting, Brady's like basically 2 feet away from it, just like cheering him on, like yelling at him as if he's coaching him. You don't really see that happen much in hockey. And then obviously the mic'd up footage that the NHL caught of Brady going into the box and them saying like, how'd mine look, as if it was like a haircut, and not just like beating the crap out of another guy. To me, it just shows how casual that moment is to the Kachuk brothers. They're two of the toughest guys in the NHL. And, they're honestly, a conversation I had on my show this morning was, our generation grew up watching Patrick Kane, Sidney Crosby, these really skilled players. But now this next generation can almost, grow up with that sense of the 90s or the 80s, those tough hockey players. Not saying Crosby and Kane don't have any sort of toughness, but, the 90s was obviously known for the guys who can, outskill you and outwill you and will beat the crap out of you. And I think the Kachucks from their father, Keith, have a lot of that in them and can maybe pass that down to the next generation of hockey players.
My guest is Johnny Lazarus. He's a host for the NHL and is also content provider for Bleacher Report Open Ice, and he's joining us here on Sports Bash to talk about the Four Nations face-off. Before we turn our attention to the matchup for Thursday night for the championship, USA and Canada, let's go again back to the game against Canada on Saturday night, and we were talking about the Kachuk brothers. But Matthew Kachuk left that game with an injury, did not play last night in the loss to Sweden last night. What's his status right now? Do you think they were just resting him last night? Will he be ready for Thursday?
Yeah, last night seemed like it was just a rest game. All signs are pointing toward the Kachuk brothers playing. Every report I've seen and people I've talked to today indicates that they're playing. The only player right now that will be missing with certainty is Charlie McAvoy. The Bruins, put it out this morning that he had an infection, I think, from an upper body injury that he suffered from that game. So McAvoy will be out. And I'm not sure if you saw, but Quinn Hughes is joining Team USA. He's on his way to Boston, but there needs to be one other injury for him to play. So I'm sure Team USA will find some sort of loophole to get Quinn Hughes into that lineup for Thursday night.
So let's talk about the game on Thursday. Obviously, the United States, they fell behind Saturday 1-0. They come back and win 3-1. I think there were times during the game, Johnny, you watched that game close enough. Canada did a lot of great things in that game. They only scored 1 goal, but they created a lot of chances. The United States blocked a lot of shots. They played as much as we looked at this USA team coming into the game as a high-scoring team and a team that can do a lot of different things. They really impressed me at least on Saturday in that game with the way that they were able to shut down Canada when they were at their best and having great scoring chances. So if you're Canada going into this game on Thursday, do you change anything? Because they did create chances, they just couldn't capitalize on them.
Well, I think they played a little too cute also. They had a hard time getting to the middle of the ice. USA did a great job at collapsing the middle. And Canada, when they had opportunities, they looked for an extra pass. I think they tried to play a little too pretty instead of just throwing a puck on net and trying to score an ugly goal. And credit to the Americans for the way they played defensively. I thought they really locked in, all guys on the ice, all forwards. Like, I took heat for saying it, but I tweeted out that I thought Jack Hughes had a really solid game. And, people watch Jack Hughes and they expect the offensive flair, but for a smaller guy, I thought he won a lot of 50-50 battles. He took a lot of big hits, but kept getting up, and he got the puck out of the zone in really important defensive situations. And, that stuff's not going to catch the highlight reels, but that's the stuff you need to win a hockey game like that. It's the best players in the world going against the best players in the world. Jack Hughes, while he is one of the best players in the world, in a game like that, it's hard for him to stand out in a game that's so physical like it was on Saturday night. So, I use him as the example because it just shows what this team needs to do in order to beat a team like Canada. They need everyone to buy in and make little plays like that. I mean, he got knocked on his butt like 4 or 5 times, but that's what it took to win the game. And I think it's underappreciated. So I have a lot of respect for a guy like Jack Hughes and, a lot of players throughout the lineup. Vinny Trocheck, another one, guys who are just willing to do whatever it takes to win a game and don't care about, showing up on a highlight reel, even though it is, a best on best tournament.
Hey, my rooting interest in the NHL, I got kind of excited when Brock Nelson hit the crossbar. That would have been pretty cool if he had scored. But yeah, it's nice to see all the three local teams represented in this tournament. I think it's great for hockey when all three teams are good, and especially when you can see players from the Islanders, Rangers, and Devils all participating in an international tournament like this.
Yeah, I think, listen, people on Long Island will be talking, the whole world, I think, will be talking about this tournament for years to come. We'll probably see some sort of documentary at some point. I really hope there's a camera crew following Quinn Hughes on his way to Boston and just that whole experience, because, man, like finding out you're going to go join Team USA and play in the championship game is going to be awesome. But back to your point, I think, while Islander fans, Ranger fans, and Devils fans don't all necessarily get along all the time, I think Thursday night we'll all be cheering together, and nothing would make me happier than to see Brock Nelson score a goal or Jack Hughes score a goal. So I think that's something that we can all get together and cheer for in unison, which will be nice. How
do you see this game going? Is it foolish to expect the same kind of start that we saw on Saturday? What are your thoughts as USA and Canada get ready to play again on Thursday?
I don't think we'll see 3 fights. Definitely not. I wouldn't even be confident saying we'll see one. Maybe a scrum after a whistle or something like that, but nothing off the opening draw. Mm-hmm. I do think it's going to be like a 1-0 or 2-1 game again. I imagine both teams will play very tight defensively, and I do think the U.S., if they can score the first goal, like the first goal is going to mean a lot in this game. Obviously, Canada scored first on Saturday night, and the U.S. ended up tying it, but just with the overall pressure, atmosphere, anything you want to say involved in this game. And obviously, we haven't even talked about it being on U.S. soil. And I have to give Canadian fans credit. Obviously, last night was a meaningless game between USA and Sweden, but it was a night and day difference in the atmosphere between the Bell Center and TD Garden last night. So hopefully Thursday night, the Americans can really rally together and get the USA chance going throughout the entire night, because I thought the Canadians did an incredible job at just keeping the energy up the entire game. That was my first time at the Bell Center this past week, and it really lived up to all the hype. Like every single second, there's something to cheer about. When Crosby hit the ice, it's Crosby. It was just, it was.
And
nuts.
they were booing Austin Matthews really good.
Yeah.
For a number of different reasons.
I would love, it would be a great sentiment. Boston and Toronto obviously have a great rivalry, but if Austin Matthews gets a chance in TD Garden, that'd be pretty cool. And I'm sure Brad Marchand will be booed, which will be funny. There's all these different scenarios that are going to go down, but I swear, like, I have not been more excited to attend a hockey game as I am to go to TD Garden on Thursday night.
Well, you have a choice, Johnny. Of course, you could go to the game with your ticket and go and have a great time, or you can become increasingly wealthy if you choose to sell the ticket and watch the game on TV, because as I have seen over the last couple of days, the ticket prices on the secondary market. And by the way, if you want to go to the game Thursday night, ticketbash.com. Make sure you check out ticketbash.com if you're looking to go to Boston for USA and Canada. But I saw yesterday minimum get in the door for Thursday is about $1,200 right now. It's probably gone up since the last time I looked, but it's crazy for a hockey game that is not a Stanley Cup Finals game, but just people are just going nuts over this tournament, and we see the ticket prices soaring like they are.
It's crazy, but maybe it's crazy to say this. Maybe I'm exaggerating or being dramatic, but this almost is hockey Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's one game, the build up to this game, the media coverage for this game, the overall like historic moment that we'll have from this entire tournament, all culminating in USA versus Canada. It's something that we have not seen, I think, maybe ever. So I understand why prices are this high.
Yeah.
And I understand it's not an Olympic gold medal, but also you have to remember too that the IIHF rules are different. This is like NHL rules. The game will have a different feel. IIHF usually isn't as physical, obviously, as the NHL rules are.
Right.
So,
it would be on a bigger rink if it was international.
Surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just like something that, again, like we haven't seen before, and I don't know if I could justify spending that money, but like if I had, if money wasn't an issue for me, then yeah, it'd be, I'm fortunate that I didn't have to pay for a ticket, but.
Oh, okay. See, I like
yeah.
that. He's, not only is he going to the game, but he didn't have to pay.
I'm very blessed for that. Very blessed for that.
It's good to have connections, right? You see, I get my chops busted on WFAN all the time because I always seem to maneuver free tickets and free stuff for a lot of things, and I'm glad to know that I'm not alone in that.
Listen, if you got it, you got to use it.
That's
right?
it.
That's it.
There you go.
It. So
we have a couple minutes left with Johnny Lazarus, Lazarus, NHL host, and also content provider for Bleacher Report. Open Ice. The success of this tournament obviously has brought a lot of questions about the NHL All-Star Game going forward. Now, next year it's interesting because it's here on Long Island at UBS Arena. We don't know what format they're going to go back to, whether they go back to East versus West. Do they go to the 3-on-3? Is it an international tournament, heading into the Olympics, which that'll be a precursor to the Olympics. When you see an event like this have so much success and you see people like just dreading All-Star games all over, and the NBA All-Star game was pure garbage the other night. That was just absolutely, absolute garbage. But when you look at what the NHL can do now here with the All-Star game, how do you think they go forward with this? Do they adopt something like this every year? Do they go back to East versus West? How do you think the NHL and Commissioner Gary Bettman will look at the All-Star game going forward?
I got to be honest. Like, I've been trying to think of ideas because I think the conversation surrounding this was like, what is the point anymore?
Yeah.
But you can't really do this every year either because then it takes away the lore of it.
Yeah.
You have to keep it a little bit separate. Like I know people wanted like a best of 5, just USA versus Canada. And then I think that takes away from the whole thing. Right. So for me, like one thing I suggested was maybe just making it like age group. If you wanted to do like a 23 and under, best on best or something like that, or 30 and over, you can have different sorts of fun with that. Not saying that's like a popular opinion, but it is going to be interesting to see what the NHL does with the All-Star game just because of the success of this. But again, like just focusing on this tournament, you can't do it every year or else it's just,
especially because the World Cup of Hockey is coming back in 2028. So you're going to have the Olympics next year. And then 2 years after that, the World Cup of Hockey, which if you take the 4 nations face-off and put it on steroids, you're going to get the World Cup of Hockey.
Exactly. I do think the every other year keeps it like exciting enough and also enough time to appreciate it again.
You know what I want next year, because I obviously plan on being at the All-Star game here on the island next year, and my family is excited to go. And I went to the last time the NHL All-Star game was the Islanders hosted was at Nassau Coliseum in 1983. And you'll remember back then. Well, you won't remember because you're a lot younger than I am. But it was.
I didn't even know the Islanders hosted one, to be honest.
I have the ticket stub. I'll text it to you. I'll text you a pic. Yeah, 1983. They hosted it at the Coliseum. That was the game that Wayne Gretzky won the MVP. I think he scored a hat trick or 4 goals in the third period. I still have the ticket stub. I still have the program. I would almost like to see just kind of because I'm very nostalgic because I'm old. Mm-hmm. So I would almost like to see them go back at least for 1 year. For me, if Gary Bettman is watching, do this for me. Go back to Campbell versus Wales for 1 year because the Wales conference. I think it had already switched. The Islanders were in the Wales already, so you could have the Wales conference be the Eastern Conference, Campbell Conference is the Western Conference, and just play a real game next year on Long Island just to make Peter Schwartz happy.
I mean, listen, I am all for creativity and nostalgia. So I love vintage stuff. So if that's the way you want to do it, it's cool with me.
I would like to do it that way.
I'm just happy to see the best players on the ice together. I don't care how it's done.
That's it. I mean, that's the bottom line. And again, at the end of the day, it's an all-star game, so people just have to relax and just not worry about it. Just play the game, and it's a stage for the best players to do their thing. Before I let you go, let me get your little, your thoughts on the 3 locals as the second half of the season, unofficial second half of the season gets underway this weekend. The Islanders, the Rangers, and Devils, all obviously shooting for playoff positioning and playoff spots. Give me your little thumbnail sketch on each of the 3 locals heading into the second half.
Well, the Devils are a team to me that if they can add a top 6 winger, they're going to be a legit Stanley Cup contender. They still are, but I think they're missing that one little extra piece. Obviously, as we're seeing in this tournament too, when hockey gets heated and it's at its best, you need more physicality. And I think the Devils would really benefit from that up front. Their blue line's been really solid and they've gotten great goaltending. It's just that one little piece of fire I think that they're missing in their top six. So that's something I think the Devils would add. As the second half of the season kicks underway, I do think the Devils will finish, in second or third. It's tough to say anyone will catch the Washington Capitals. I wouldn't be surprised if the Devils do finish second. But, I think the signs point more towards a Carolina, New Jersey Devils first round series than the other way around, or than any other matchup. As far as the Rangers go, they're a team that last year after All-Star break, I think went on a 10-game heater. Igor Shesterkin was at his worst going into the All-Star break and then came out and was super hot. So the Rangers, again, are a team that, can go on a run if Igor Shesterkin gets hot and if their power play is clicking. Obviously, JT Miller's had a couple games in the lineup as well, and now he's gotten a little bit more accustomed to his new teammates, Chris Kreider, Adam Fox, and Vinny Trocheck playing with Team USA. So they'll hit the ground running, I think, once the break is over. And I do see the Rangers squeaking into the playoffs. Obviously, Ottawa and Detroit are the two wild card spots right now, and I think it's fair to say that they might have a drop off. They haven't shown us any other, difference in the past. So I do feel confident in the Rangers finding a way to squeak in. The Islanders, however,
be nice. Come on.
I will be honest. I do have a bet, kind of with myself. I just kind of went out and said it on our show, that if the Islanders make the playoffs, I'll get a lower back tattoo of the Islander logo. So I am rooting against them. I don't know what's going to happen with Brock Nelson, and it sounds like Noah Dobson might be looking for a trade. So a lot of things are up in the air on Long Island. And to be
Kyle
honest,
Palmieri too is going to be an unrestricted free agent, so they could shop.
Saw
in.
that as well. Yeah, and something interesting to me is as an Islander fan, Peter, like you can probably tell me, like, does it benefit them to make the playoffs? Like, I feel like it might be time to just turn the page and, start something new over there. A first round exit for the most part. I don't see them squeaking into the playoffs and winning a round.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that. I think at some point you have to come to the realization that this group has probably gone as far as they could go. Now, I don't think you get rid of everybody, but I would again. If you told me that, hey, listen, if the Islanders said, look, we're going to rebuild this thing, and we're going to look towards the future and bring in some younger players, I have no problem with that. I just wonder if Lou Lamoriello is the person that should be at the helm of doing that. If you're going to build a team, if you're going to restructure a team to make it good 5 years down the road, is Lou Lamoriello going to be the GM 5 years down the road? Yeah,
probably not. Right. So
right.
It might be time for the Islanders just to, listen, the Rangers did it on the fly, like and they're not done yet. So, the Islanders have to take a long, hard look in the mirrors, and I think they've been, okay with mediocrity for the past few years.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
And listen, I think there's something to be said, though. Like, I will credit the Islanders as well because, watching a team that isn't competitive is miserable. At least they've been competitive and they've been in the playoffs. So you got to credit them there. They've been in the mix. But at what point do you say, like, being good is not good enough?
And I think you also have to clear some room because you do have some prospects that are on the come, both at junior and at the AHL level, and some people who are overseas as well. And at some point, you have to create some roster spots for them. Yeah,
and I'll say this as a Ranger fan. I think Islander fans deserve better. I've seen how...
You don't really mean that, do you?
No, I do. Listen, I got to attend that 2021 Cup run. I was at a lot of those games at Nassau Coliseum. And, listen, I grew up in Syosset, Long Island. I went to a lot of Islander games growing up. Like, Nassau Coliseum, as a Ranger fan, has a very special place in my heart. There is very few arenas better to watch a game than Nassau Coliseum. And I know a lot of players who have said the same about playing there, too. I mean, I remember, I think it was, I want to say 2013, Islanders-Penguins Game 3. Matt Molson scored a goal about like a minute and 20 seconds in, and I've never heard an arena pop louder than I heard.
I was there with my son. That place was, I think the only time, Johnny, I heard the place louder was when Sean Bates got the penalty shot goal against Toronto. But again, I don't think you were born yet.
I was born.
You were born.
I was born. I don't remember it, quite frankly, but I was born. 1996, baby. But listen, I think Islander fans, have a lot of loyalty to that team. And I've seen the frustrations. I've heard the complaints. And listen, I think it's so good for hockey when all three teams are competitive and in the playoffs. And I've been saying it for years. Like, I would love a Shesterkin versus Sorokin playoff series. Like, I think that'd be unbelievable for the game, for, our area. And again, like, I think Islander fans do deserve better. I love seeing them miserable, but I think they deserve better.
Well, I see. Now I'm torn. Because as much as I want the Islanders to rebuild and get good, I kind of want to see that tattoo happen.
My mom would kill me.
Well, can you do it on the show? If the Islanders make the playoffs, can you come and do it on the show? Or are you going to do it on your show?
I don't know what the rules are about streaming that, but we'll figure something out. I'd probably do it on my show, and then I'm sure that would, I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
Well, we'll figure it out. Hey, listen, I'm incredibly jealous that you get to go to this game on Thursday night, but I'll be watching it on TV and looking forward to hopefully the United States coming out on top. Johnny, thank you so much for spending some time, and I'll see you at a rink somewhere. Oh, will I see you Tuesday night at UBS Arena for Islanders Rangers?
You should see me there, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go break bread there Tuesday night at UBS.
We'll do the second intermission ice cream, as is tradition at UBS Arena. Right?
There you go. I'm all for that. Johnny Lazarus, NHL host, and also from Bleacher Report Open Ice. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And that's going to be a great game on Thursday night. I just might want to drop the gloves with somebody in my family on Thursday watching that USA-Canada game. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Jared, come on, let's go. All right, we still got some more to do. We've got the poll question of the day. We'll tell you about Thursday's show. Lots more to come as we wrap up this edition of Sports Bash. Coming right back after this.
Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles is the best place to find autographed entertainment and sports memorabilia. We guarantee the authenticity of each and every item in our shop to provide you with quality collectibles anytime you browse our inventory. Our memorabilia includes autographed photos, sports equipment, jerseys, hats, and other paraphernalia from current athletes and legendary sports stars. If you prefer the entertainment industry, we have signed posters, albums, and photographs from classic movie stars and today's celebrities. To give back to our community, we participate in fundraising auctions for local charities. Call us today to request a specific autograph, find a special gift for someone else, or schedule an event. Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles.
Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
Welcome back to Sports Bash. I'm Peter Schwartz. There are some photographs of our first guest on the show today. We had him on earlier in the program. He is Harold Teller from Harold's Hoops for Hope. It's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament focused on spreading awareness about mental health issues and suicide prevention. This year's event is March 22nd at Hoop Dream Shop Lab. Let me start that over again. March 22nd, Hoop Dream Shop Lab, 11 Ogden Court in Huntington Station. So we thank, again, Harold for coming in to talk about that. And we also thank Johnny Lazarus, my last guest, to talk about the Four Nations Face-Off on Thursday. And this segment of Sports Bash is presented by Ticketbash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee, which would be very, very important if you want to go to the championship game Thursday in Boston between the USA and Canada, because if you can save that service fee, you're going to save a few bucks, because the ticket prices for that game on Thursday night are absolutely through the roof. Tony, what would be give me a sporting event that you would want to go to and the most money you would pay for it?
Well, Mets in the World Series.
Yep. Is there a limit? Is there a limit on what you would spend on a ticket? If the Mets had a chance to clinch the World Series at Citi Field, is it $1,000? Is it worth? Or just watch on TV.
As much as I'd like to just not have a ceiling on it, I don't think because ticket prices just drive me crazy.
Isn't it amazing?
I won't take up too much of your time.
It's okay.
In 1999, I paid $100 to go to the Mets made the first round of the playoffs, and I paid $99. The seats were all the way up.
Face value? You got the legitimate purchase, right? Yeah.
But
not that Ticket Bash is not a legitimate purchase. Vinny,
Well,
don't
true.
yell at me. No. He paid. He got it legit. I can't use the word legitimate. You bought it through the Mets. At face value.
I didn't buy him through the Mets, and that was the beauty of it. $99 got me the game and dinner with Keith Hernandez.
Really?
Yeah, which I have pictures.
What year was
1999.
99.
I have pictures
And
of
this
it.
was the first round against Arizona?
That's correct. Yes.
So I was at those games. I was
Okay.
at the Todd Pratt home run game.
Oh,
I
right.
Sent them
Okay.
to the NLCS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sat all the way up, but for $99, I mean, you can't get in the building for $99.
No, you can't get toward some regular season games. You can't get into
Exactly.
the building for $99.
Exactly. So I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss those prices.
Do you know what really bothers me more than the ticket prices nowadays is the parking.
Yes.
The parking is the big problem because especially like for myself as a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
There are Yankee games you can go to during the regular season, whether it's like there's certain nights that the Yankees have these ticket deals on their website, and you can get into a Yankee game for $10. But now so the four of us and my family will go to a Yankee game. I go to Met games; they'll go to a Yankee game.
Sure.
So even if I got 4 Yankee tickets for $40 for like a random midweek game against a crappy team, right? 40. That's a good deal, right? A Major League Baseball game at Yankee Stadium, but I got to go over a bridge.
Yep.
I got to pay $50 to park my car, and then of course you get there and you have all the food and everything like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's the parking that really drives me absolutely bonkers at these places.
Last Islander game I went to, $55 to park.
At that point, you're just better off driving to Hicksville and taking the train.
Yes.
That's what you should do.
Yep.
This segment of Sports Bash is presented by TicketBash.com and also by Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service, keeping Long Island warm for over 18 years, serving their customers in Nassau and Suffolk with pride, honesty, and integrity. For more information, visit www.liboilers.com. A couple things to take care of before we say goodbye at 2 o'clock. Of course, this coming Friday, a very, very big day for myself, my family, and everybody associated with the brand new Entertainment Football Association arena football team that's coming to Long Island, launching this coming June. June 7th is the season opener at Danbury, and then June 14th is the home opener at Nassau Coliseum. Now, why is this Friday an important day? That is because we're going to announce the name of the team on Friday afternoon in Hicksville at a very special event. We're going to introduce the name of the team. We're going to unveil the logo for the team on Friday. We're going to have some special guests there, some surprises, and this will catch Tony's attention. We're going to have some food.
Yeah, baby.
There you go. So I am very, very excited. And of course, as many of you know, I am the general manager of the new team. How I got that job, I have no idea still. I'm a radio, TV, print journalism guy. No, but I am very, very excited to be at the helm for this, and it's great. And there was a picture of me with Ed Ra and Bruce Blakeman from our January 15th event at the Coliseum to unveil the team. There's the Neil Best. I'm looking at the TV on delay. You've already seen it a few seconds ago, but the article that Neil Best wrote in Newsday. So that is exciting stuff. I can't wait for Friday. We're still busy working around the clock, planning everything, making sure things go off without a literal hitch. And it's I know you were at the first event in January, and you're coming on Friday, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Now, tell me the truth. Are you coming for the reveal, or are you coming for the food? You could be honest with me. We're friends.
The reveal of the food.
The reveal of the food. I like that. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for Friday. Also, I want to also thank St. John's athletic director Ed Cull. who got us tickets. I went with my sons on Sunday to see that great game against Creighton. And look at these seats that I had. And I was talking to Johnny about getting free tickets. This was wonderful. And I want to thank Ed Cull, everybody in the athletic department at St. John's for having us at the game, excuse me, on Sunday. It was wonderful. St. John's won again. They had a 1-1 week last week, so they dropped one spot in the standings down to 10, but still a great season for Rick Pitino. I had a chance to meet Rick Pitino last Monday night. St. John's had an event to unveil the new documentary that's going on Vice TV, Red Storm Rising, and it centers around Rick Pitino taking over the program. The Garden was electric on Sunday, and I've been to a million games in that building. I've been to Knick playoff games in the NBA Finals, and that crowd, that atmosphere Sunday at Madison Square Garden was just absolutely electric. We were sitting, actually, you can see we're sitting behind the basket. We were in the student section. Oh, nice. So we really didn't sit much because all the students stand. So we were standing most of the game, but it was just an electrifying crowd. And again, thanks to everybody at St. John's for having us at the event. St. John's will play at DePaul on Wednesday. So another big game, and then they play UConn at the Garden. It's already sold out next weekend, so St. John's heading towards an NCAA berth. It's time for the Sports Bash Media Poll Question of the Day, presented by Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996, and they're also available for charity auctions. Give Warren a call, and I'm going to do this slowly again, 516- 826-4000, 516-826-4000. Kind of touched on this with Johnny Lazarus earlier in the show. What should be the format of the NHL All-Star Game going forward? And is it the current 3-on-3 tournament that they did not have this year because of the Four Nations face-off? Do they go back to East versus West? Do they go to the international format? Or is there another format you would like to see? Please comment below. And again, I have to add to that, if you pick other, comment below. Please make sure you comment below. I posted the question earlier today. People are already picking other and then not mentioning it, not commenting, so that's an integral piece of the pie. If you pick other, comment below. Please comment. So let me go around the very small room here today, and I'll go to Tony first. What would you like to see the NHL do with the All-Star Game?
Well, I need a little education here.
Okay.
What happens to the Four Nations? Because I really like that.
This was pretty much a one-shot different thing that they did this year,
right?
To kind of throw things around a little bit,
right?
But generally, back when I was growing up watching hockey, it was the Campbell Conference versus the Wales Conference in just a regular game.
Right.
Then it became the Eastern Conference against the Western Conference. Now they have this Fakakta 3-on-3 tournament,
right,
where they have the divisions play against each other to get a conference champion, and then they play a one-period game. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Right.
And as Johnny mentioned, you really can't have this international thing every single year because it'll wear off. So I would like them to go back to just conference versus conference, and once in a while you can switch it up and do this.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go with you on that.
Right. So I like to go back to East versus West or Campbell versus Wales, whatever you want to do it. That would be my choice. And that brings us to the Living Legends item of the week, and it's this. I mean, this is a great piece. Look at this. Pelé, legendary Brazil and Cosmos star, Pelé autographed framed photo. I tell this story all the time, too. I don't know if I've told it on the show, but I grew up a big Cosmos fan back in the day. Remember when the Cosmos had that big boom when they finally moved to Giant Stadium? But Pelé came in 75, and it was 2 years later, 77. And my mom is watching, so she's gonna laugh. I don't know if she's gonna cry, but she'll laugh at this too. So we were away for a summer at a bungalow colony up in the Catskills, Lake Kiamisha. I forgot what the name of it was, but in any event, so we became friendly with this other family, and they were very, very big into soccer. I didn't know soccer from a hole in the wall, right? My dad got me on football and baseball and basketball and hockey and all that stuff. But like soccer, I didn't know what the hell soccer was. So they invited me, I'm going to watch the Cosmos game. And I was watching it. I picked it up a little bit. Then throughout that summer, those crowds at Giant Stadium started to really get big, they were starting to draw 50, 60, 70,000 people to Giant Stadium. And then I remember watching the Soccer Bowl. It was Pelé's last competitive game, and the Cosmos win the Soccer Bowl. We come home to Queens at the end of the summer, and the season's over, but my dad comes home. He worked in the Garment Center at the time, and he comes home and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the Cosmos game next week?" I'm like, "Dad, what are you talking about? The Cosmos just won the championship. The season's over." He goes, "No, there's an exhibition game against China. Pelé's not playing. He's retired. He had just had his retirement game against Santos and everything. But this is like an exhibition game." I was like, "Sure, we'll go." We went. I loved it. It was fantastic. This kid from Queens, a Jewish kid, what do I know from a soccer ball, right? And I fall in love with the Cosmos. And the next year, we started going to more games and everything. Nice. And then in 2013, the Cosmos come back. They play at Hofstra in a new league, new NASL, and I became their PA announcer.
That's great.
So I'm at the first game. Was it the first season? Pelé had come to a couple of them. I don't remember if it was the first season or the second season, but one of the cool things for me as the PA announcer is I got to introduce Pelé on the field to take part in the opening ceremony. But I never got to meet him. I just got to introduce him. One of those 2 years, I'm in the press box at Hofstra, and there's this whole commotion going on. Have you ever been in the press box in Hofstra? No. Hofstra Stadium? So there's two rows, and there's broadcast booths and boxes on each side. So I'm in the front row next to the PA microphone, and there's this commotion going on. You start to hear, I look behind, and there's an entourage, right? I would love to have an entourage one day. I think I deserve an entourage. Maybe at the press conference Friday I could have an entourage, right?
Me and Wiz.
Yeah. Maybe my family could be my entourage. We'll see. But anyway, so there's this entourage, and I can't see what's going on. And sure enough, as the entourage and the crowd dissipates a little bit, there's Pelé. Oh, wow. Literally, I should have remembered that I have a picture of this. And I took a picture of him walking by. And I so badly wanted me to may he rest in peace. Now I'll never get a chance to do it. But this was a cool moment that he walked right behind. I turned around like, oh, crap, that's Pelé right by you. He's like 10 feet from me. I remember taking a picture of him walking by, and that was awesome. And I had one of the thrills of my life that I got a chance to introduce him at a Cosmos game. Coming up on Thursday's show, we're going to recap the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game. We're hoping it's a United States victory, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll have a great game on Thursday night. I like to push the buttons here on the show every now and then, like to push the envelope a little bit. Sure. I've been, in the past on this show, I had my son's college football head coach on the show. So you're pushing the envelope by having your son's coach on the show. We got through that. Then a last second FOP, surprise FOP was my son Jared, right? Waiting for my wife Cheryl to agree to come in here and be an FOP. We'll see if we can work that out. But I'm pushing the envelope a little bit on Thursday because my boss is going to be on the show. The owner of the Entertainment Football Association. I did not send you a picture because this was a last-second thing I found out right before the show. Doug Freeman, who owns the Entertainment and founded the Entertainment Football Association, and has put his trust in me to be the general manager of the Long Island franchise. He's going to join us on the show on Thursday to preview our big event on Friday to unveil the name and the logo of the Long Island team. So we're going to do that on Thursday. We're also going to play Stump the Wiz. We'll see what kind of nonsense we can come up with. Multi-part, multi-chaptered question. We'll see if we can figure that out on Thursday and see if Wiz can get stumped, or does he get the answer to the question? And then we'll also check out This Week in Sports History. That will do it for this edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com and Ryan Anthony's Heating and Air Conditioning Service. Thanks to my guests, Harold Teller and Johnny Lazarus. Thanks to Tony Walker, everyone here at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Sports Bash is presented by TicketBash. Now, I have to go back on something before I say goodbye because I'm an idiot. I said we're going to recap Thursday's Four Nations Face-Off Championship game. It's impossible for us to recap the game at 1 o'clock on Thursday when the game doesn't take place until Thursday night. So we'll further preview that game on Thursday. I don't know what's going on with me today. But yes, we'll have another guest on to talk about that game on Thursday. And of course, I mentioned Doug Freeman, the owner of the Entertainment Football Association. Where was I? Sports Bash was presented by Ticketbash.com and Ryan Anthony's Heating Service. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Living Legends Memorabilia and Bearcat Building Service, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and that is all. For our entire crew, this is Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching. Sports Bash returns on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.